congratulations to bringing the story of Lily Elbe to life. For you as the director, what was the most challenging part?
I think just getting the film made. I mean, I fell in love with this amazing script by Lucinda Cox and this beautiful love story 7 years ago in 2008. I was in early preparations to make the King's Speech. I was blown away and moved to tears repeatedly by this love story. And I've been wanting to make it ever since. Now, you know, a 7-year journey to get a film made sounds like a long time. For me, that makes me a newcomer because my producer, Gail Mutrix, has been fighting to bring this film to life since 2000 for 15 years. You know, what's fascinating is 7 years ago I was told it's a hard film to make, it's a difficult film to finance, it's a difficult film to cast. And now I'm releasing the film and people are saying to me, it's a timely movie, maybe it's a film that's in the zeitgeist. This is an extraordinary shift in perception towards a story involving such a wonderful trans character in just 7 years. So I think it's just a sign that the culture has moved very, very fast and the narrative has moved a long way in just 7 years. And I think that's fantastic, the fact that people are much more ready to embrace a great story, a love story involving this wonderful trans character now is fantastic.
Do you see it as a biography or as an adaptation?
It's inspired by this wonderful couple living in Denmark in the 1920s. It's based on a novel that fictionalized the story. Our screenplay brought it back quite a lot closer to real life. You know, we've taken some licenses to make it work as a movie, but it's very much inspired by these wonderful real people.
It's the second time you collaborated with Eddie Redmayne.
Third time.
The third time, excuse me. How was it for you to work with him again and see his transformation?
For me, I mean, the nicest thing is that he's been a friend of mine ever since we first worked when he was 22 years old. I directed him on Elizabeth I, starring the great Helen Mirren. He was extraordinary then. It was one of his first jobs. He played a young rebel trying to overthrow Helen Mirren, and his emotional rawness, his vulnerability, his kind of almost emotional transparency was extraordinary back then. He then did Les Miserables, and it was on the barricades of Les Miserables in a brown paper envelope I handed him the script of The Danish Girl. He fell in love with it like me. He's the most amazing collaborator. He's so conscientious. Eddie Redmayne prepared for an entire year full time to play this role. He met numerous inspiring figures in the trans community. He read widely. He worked on his physical language with a choreographer. I mean, his preparation is amazing.
You had some talks with people from the transgender community, including Lana Wachowski.
Yeah, I mean, one of my most inspiring moments on the journey of making this film was getting to meet Lana Wachowski. She's the extraordinary director of the Matrix trilogy. She's a trans woman. She directed Eddie in Jupiter Ascending, which is how I came to see her. And she knew this story well. It had been an inspiration, I believe, in her life. And she gave me many ideas. I mean, one was, you know, she suggested I use the Art Nouveau period in the film when they go to Paris. But she said, what about using this moment of revolution in visual arts, which was about the rejection of the masculine, of the rectilinear, the straight line, the embracing of the feminine in design, and what about using that as a backdrop for the emergence of Lily, so that we see that the context of Lily arriving is in the context of a whole embracing of the feminine in the look of the 20th century. So yes, she was a great inspiration.
Last year, the Dallas Buyers Club won an Oscar, including Jared Leto for his portrait. Now we have Eddie Redmayne with his extraordinary performance. Do you think he will get the Oscar?
Well, I was very excited yesterday to hear that Eddie had been nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Actor, so the second time in a row for him, but also that Alicia had her very first SAG nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Alicia's wonderful in the movie. She has so much heart, you know, fierce energy. She really illuminates the love story at the core of this film, this beautiful love story in the most extraordinary way, so I was very happy for her as well.
The scene with Ben Whishaw and Eddie Redmayne when they kissed, how did you experience this scene?
I remember it most vividly actually when we rehearsed it for the first time, and Ben Whishaw is such a versatile actor. I could literally play around in rehearsal with whether Henrik was, you know, predatory and aggressive, soft, gentle, and friendly, and you know, Ben Whishaw was one of our great young actors in the UK, and it was like, you know, working with like a thoroughbred racehorse, like you know, your ability to play with different ideas of the character, explore different ideas of the character with Ben is great. It's a very important moment in the story where Lily, living as Einar, gets to feel like she's fully identified with Lily for the first time.